Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Saraswatyai Namaha. Om Sadgurubhyo Namaha. Shri Arunachalam. Shri Arunachalam. Shri Arunachalam. Hari Om, devotees and seekers all over the world. Greetings from Arunachala. Today, we are going to take a question from one Mr. Bala. He is Bala Subramaniam and is part of his family business. They are into magazine publishing and a very good seeker from Chennai. His question: Hari Om Swamiji, a doubt running in mind since couple of days. Dil Bechara, Sushant Singh's last movie, is scheduled to release 24th this month. The trailer of the movie was released a week back. It's clocked the highest number of likes ever for a YouTube video. Quite an astonishing feat actually, considering it's not a Hollywood or global movie. Looking at it from a spiritual perspective, there seems to be an exponential surge in love or affection or sympathy for a person after he or she dies, as in when the ego no longer exists. The same probably holds good for a true sannyasi or jnani too. Since their ego is negligible or totally gone, they tend to attract everyone like a magnet. The above two might not be similar comparisons, but I feel the absence of ego is common in both cases. How come there is a heavy attraction or pull or love when ego is not there, and vice versa? There is a sort of repulsion when ego is high. What role exactly does ego play in this aspect? Looks to be more like a barrier or barricade. Dear Bala, this is a very strange question actually. I will tell you why. Sushant Singh Rajput, while living, through his endearing ways, on and off the screen, must have captivated people's heart. Therefore, when he met a tragic death, and that too, given the circumstances that led to the death, created lots of sympathy and affection. Tell me, when the rapists in the Nirbhaya case, when they were hanged, did it create any sympathy? Therefore, it is not the death that is creating the affection or sympathy. It is the way a person lived while he was alive. Suppose if a politician, I don't want to take names, who plundered the nation for his selfish gains and destroyed the religious and cultural fabric of the society dies, will it create same type of sympathy? Some of the psychopaths who were benefited by his benevolence may feel sad, but not the general public. Is it not so? So it is not the death as such creating the sympathy. When Hitler committed suicide, did the world at large mourn? Tell me. Since because the jiva has passed away from the body, if you think the body has become egoless and lots of sympathy or affection is generated, then the tables and chairs and the rocks should generate more sympathy because they are as inert and egoless as the dead body. You understand? We always praise the person and his qualities and his deeds when he dies, not the dead body. Moreover, if a person dies, it is not that his ego vanishes or he attains an egoless state. Instead, because of his or her ego, and desires, he or she takes to another body. No way they have become egoless unless they are enlightened. It is just an unwritten norm in our society that we always look at the positive side of a person when he is dead rather than his negative side. That is all. When it comes to the realized saints, yes, actually they are egoless. They have conquered or vanquished their egos through right knowledge and conscious efforts. Yes, there is a great attraction towards an egoless person because as he is abiding in his true self, which is beyond dualities and blissful, he radiates so much of peace and joy around him. He is like a child, free within, always living in the present, blissful and cheerful. Therefore, naturally people are attracted towards him. And moreover, in his egoless state, when he sees only his own self in all beings, there is a spontaneous outpour of true love and compassion towards all beings. That makes him a real magnet which no one can resist. The divine universal consciousness, which is functioning through him without the interference of the petty ego, is really wonderful. Therefore, he becomes the vehicle for the divinity to bless the world. Naturally, people feel blessed in his presence. He is genuinely happy in the other person's success and wishes everybody well. With this one sankalpa, he can fulfill all the wishes of his devotees. With his one glance, he can cut asunder the knot of the heart of his devotees and uplift them from samsara. He gives total abhaya to all those who seek refuge at his feet. Therefore, people throng to him. On the other hand, an egoistic person is always only concerned about himself and looks for every opportunity to use the other person to fulfill his own selfish desires. Always he thinks he is important and expects everybody to listen to him and dance according to his tunes. He is always boastful about his accomplishments and cannot tolerate the other person succeeding or coming up. He is always insecure. Because of all these negativities, he is very unhappy, or he is never peaceful. Not only that, he will not allow anybody around him to be happy or peaceful. If the other person is submissive and available for his manipulation, he likes that person and showers love and affection. If not, he hates and shuns the other person. He is full of raga dvesha, meaning likes and dislikes, and always dictated by his whims and fancies. It is very difficult to live with such an egoistic person. He is intolerant and hurtful. He is rude. Therefore, people do not like such an egoistic person. There is a beautiful saying, the wise people give happiness wherever they go, and the otherwise whenever they go. Is it not true? People feel a sigh of relief whenever the egoistic person goes away. As ego, when you think you are a separate, independent entity from the rest of the world and want to assert your separate individual identity and scared of losing your unique individual identity, you are always under stress, and therefore you become selfish, greedy and violent. that makes you as a human repellent, because of which people dislike you. Egoless state is the one which is divine and endearing. I hope it is clear now. Now moving on to the next question. This question is from one Mrs. Lakshmi, an IT professional from Melbourne, Australia. Swamiji, to err is human, to forgive is divine. How can one reduce or negate the effect of the bad karma in one's life? Assuming here, he or she realizes their own mistake and seeks the Supreme's forgiveness. This is her question. Dear Lakshmi, when a person sincerely repents for his or her wrongdoings and asks for forgiveness from the divinity, surely the kind, compassionate Lord forgives. But one should not repeat the mistake again in the future. Regarding reducing or negating the bad karmas, if you remember the Lord and hold on to Him, the bad karma may bring in its own consequences, but that will not affect you as badly as otherwise it could have. Since your mind is soaked in Him, the mind will not feel the severity of the consequences brought in by the bad karmas, or it would have gained strength to face the consequences of the karmas boldly. For example, let us say, this is a very crude example, but let us say you are scared of coronavirus. There is no cure for it and it is spreading fast. What can you do? You can take immunity boosters like Kabasura Kudinir advised by Ayurvedic doctors. If you drink such concoction, it is not that coronavirus will not come to you. It can come, but it cannot cause havoc in you because your immunity is strong now and your system is robust to fight back. As I told you, this is only a gross comparison given to drive a point. But Lord's protection is far, far superior than this. And His blessings are far, far glorious than any of these. Nambinar keduvadillai, naan marai tirpu is an old saying, meaning if you trust Him, you will not be let down. This is for sure. So please do not think, since you are a devotee of the Lord, the sorrows won't come to you, or the failures won't come to you. Do not have this delusion. It may come, but you will have the clarity and you will have the strength to face it boldly. That is the difference. Now you understand? Moving on to the third question. This question is from one Harini, a devotee from Chennai. Her question. Good morning, Swamiji. They say whatever is bound to happen will happen. Then why should I work hard? If it has to come to me, anyway it will come to me. This is my first question. The second one, how do I know the goal that I am working for is destined for me or not? Please enlighten me. Harini, who told you that you have to work hard? Yes, if it has to come to you, it will come to you. Definitely. Nobody can stop. But you do not know your destiny, and you cannot know it accurately, even if you consult hundreds of astrologers. Therefore, if it doesn't come to you as per your destiny, if you don't care, then there is no problem. As ordinary being, nobody can know their destiny. That is the mystery. And that adds spice to life. If you know everything, what's going to happen, then it is actually boring. You may lose interest in life. Anyway, as you are Purna Paramatman, you don't need anything. Please understand this point. As a Purna Paramatman, you don't need anything. Therefore, if you have this attitude that if it comes or if I get, good. If not, very good. If you have this attitude, then you need not work hard or worry about it. But the problem is, we cannot accept it this way. Somehow, there is a strong desire that we want it. And the fact is, we don't know what our destiny is. And nobody can predict it accurately. In that case, when there is a desire, if it is dharmic, work for it, sweat and toil. If you get it, very good, be happy. If not, for some reason, meaning if it is not your destiny, if you don't get it, forget about it. Accept both with an equanimous mind. That is what Lord Sri Krishna teaches in Bhagavad Gita. Samatvam yoga uchyate, he says. Accept both good and bad, success and failure, with an equanimous heart, he says. That is the way to go. At least we would have the satisfaction that we have tried. Is that not so? Who knows? Your destiny may be you should get it through hard work. Then, so don't worry too much about the karma or their results. Nobody can know what one's karma is. Don't worry too much about it. The only rule is, do your best and leave the rest. Gurudev Swami Chinmayanji says, do your best and leave the rest. The same kind Lord has given you the buddhi to think. The same Lord has given you a vitality and strength to act in the world outside. So therefore, if you have a desire and it is dharmic, work for it. Do your best. Give your best. And if it comes, well and good. You are happy. If it doesn't, how does it matter? As I told you, you are Purna Paramatman and you don't need anything. Therefore, the golden rule is, do your best and leave the rest. That is all. Are you convinced, Harini? I suppose you are not. But anyway, think about it. That is the only way to go forward. Om Tat Sat Brahmarpanamastu. Krishna Krishna Krishna.